Good afternoon. You're watching Business World Live here on One News. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Let's take a look at how the local bourse closed today, Tuesday. All right, the main index a little change today after outperforming earlier earlier in the day during Tuesday's trade here. The local bourse made a leap of as much as 0.6% to 6,610 earlier, but those gains have tapered off. The PSEI only inched higher by 0.1% to 6,559. It's following a sharp decline yesterday after a surge in cases. Infections came in yesterday at more than 5,400. We have yet to get details on the number of new cases today, but looking at our leaders and laggards for the day here. First, looking at our worst performers here, it would be Bloomberry that's experienced the worst decline here. The stock is down close to 2%. It's after a share buyback transaction today. End of the day lower, now priced at 7 peso and 2 centavos a piece. Also, one of our worst performers today, you have Aboitiz Equity Ventures, which hiked capex or capital expenditures to 48 billion pesos this year. That stock retreated by 3.5%, now priced at 35 pesos and 60 centavos a share. Now, also, you have Ayala Land here, one of our laggards here, down 0.4% after it revealed plans to infuse key commercial properties with a value of 15.5 billion pesos into a REIT under a property for share swap transaction. This means Ayala Land will subscribe to 483.3 million primary common shares of AREIT at 32 pesos each. This will bump up AREIT's portfolio to 549,000 square meters from just over 344,000 square meters, also increasing the deposited property value at 52 billion pesos. Looking at how Ayala Land has been performing, it's now priced at 35 pesos and 75 centavos a share. Now, looking on the other side here, among our winners here, you have FGen leading the pack, up over 4.4%, now at 30 pesos and 80 centavos a share. Ayala Corporation reversing losses yesterday, gaining close to 0.3% today. That's after its power unit, AC Energy, and its partners secured $67 million of funding for their solar farm venture in India. Ayala Corporation now at 757 apiece. Speaking of Ayala Corporation, its water unit, one of the day's gainers. This as a new concession agreement becomes clearer for Manila Water. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says that might be finalized by tomorrow once everything is ironed out. That pushed MWC stocks higher today by 4.8%, now priced at 14 pesos and 50 centavos a share. Guevara says once this is finalized, then discussions for Manila's water concession agreement will be following suit. Now, a quick check of the local currency here. The peso, that's after remittance figures, slipped for the second straight month, lower by 1.7% in January to $2.6 billion. And this as more OFWs return home due to the pandemic. The peso on muted trading today, but on the downside still inching lower to 48 pesos and 580 centavos to the dollar. And here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines will start testing the automation processes of its transmission network. The pilot test of NGCP's central control and monitoring system will be done in substations in Cagayan de Oro and Cebu. The power grid regulator is looking to equip 21 substations with the automated system by 2025. The system allows NGCP to remotely operate unmanned substations and improve operational performance of transmission facilities. NGCP says this is part of the planned transition to smart grid technology. Now, retailers are seeking to retain the minimum required investment per store for foreign retailers to give small Filipino business owners a chance to compete. The Philippine Retailers Association says keeping the $830,000 required investment for foreign retail firms will act as safeguard against unfair competition from foreigners. The Philippine Star reports that the group is also opposing the proposal to lower the $2.5 million minimum paid up capital for foreign retailers. There are bills currently pending in Congress to lower the minimum paid up capital to as low as $200,000. The group notes that high minimum investment ensures the credentials of foreign firms and that even Philippine retailers with overseas presence have been practicing this. All right, the pandemic has posed several challenges for continuing education, but one tech company hopes to lessen the burden by providing affordable financing for students. How do they do that exactly? Let's find out from Rich Lim, co-founder and CFO of Erudifi, the parent company of Bukas.ph. Good afternoon, Rich.
Good afternoon, Jess.
Okay, so give us an idea. How exactly do you make education financing technologically innovative? Well, to put it simply, what do you do at Bukas.ph?
Sure. Well, we are a technology-enabled financing company. Essentially, what we do is we partner with schools, and then we sort of subsequently lend and provide very affordable education plans to their students. Students can essentially apply on a fully online process, end to end, and they will sort of the funds will get directly disbursed to the school, and they will then be able to just focus on finishing school rather than worrying about how to pay for the semester's tuition fees.
And may I know what exactly was the pain point that brought you here?
No, essentially, if you look at the sort of entire higher education system in the Philippines, we have a very, very low participation rate. Roughly only a third of sort of eligible college age youth actually do enroll in school, and like less than half actually finish on time if they even do. And a majority of the reason is really due to a lack of financing options or finances. And as a teacher myself, I have sort of seen the firsthand impact that education can have on a student's future. So really, our vision of bringing Bukas to sort of millions of Filipinos is because we do want to see the solution as a means and a way to get millions of Filipinos into college and graduate on time, making sure that every Filipino has the opportunity to achieve a better career, a better future. And through education, I think it's one of the most powerful ways for driving intergenerational change.
And how does the system work? Give us an idea. Do you have partner schools, partner
Yep,
universities?
correct. So we actually have many partner schools in the Philippines specifically, including the likes of Mapua, OLFU, FEU, FINMA, CU. And so we
Mhm.
work with them in collaboration with them, help them better serve their students. And we are, I think, a ideal partner to help them with enrollment and retention efforts, especially in light of sort of the pandemic. We're trying to help make sure students stay in school despite all the financial difficulties.
Okay, so at the same time, if you have different schools here, partner schools, that also comes with different levels or different amounts, especially when it comes to financing. So, how much of a cap do you have when it comes to education financing?
Yeah, well, essentially, the students can at any time and point in time can apply and request for the amount that matches
Mhm.
what the requirements are for the semester. And our goal again is really to make sure that they are comfortable and they are able to go through the next semester without worry.
And I do know that you have a presence across Southeast Asia, but how does the Philippines differ? Can you give us an assessment when it comes to education financing here in the country?
Sure. The Philippines is one of our core markets alongside Indonesia, which we operate as Danachida, and so we are a regional Southeast Asia company.
Mhm.
And for me, the Philippines specifically to our context, I do think there are three primary barriers to this market we're actively trying to break down and make sure we actively bring this opportunity to every Filipino student. So the first one I would say is the access to capital, because education lending is still not an established asset class in the Philippines. There's no affordable financing option out there. We want to make sure we are at the forefront of this trend, to be the pioneers, and to be the one bringing the opportunity to millions of Filipinos. That's one. Second, for me, is awareness. And we're trying to carve out a new product in this space. And many Filipinos still don't know that this instrument exists. So we do need to actively work on to make sure students and prospective students understand that there are such options available if they want to take it. And I would say the last sort of key difference is trust. Students loans is I would say about trust and about having a trust in a financing partner that can take you through your multi-year education journey. School is a really long time, so people want to make sure that whoever you work with will be there for them through it all. So that's what we're really trying to do here. That's sort of the key difference and the key barriers: providing access to affordable capital, building that awareness that education loans is an option, and establishing ourselves as a partner that students and families can trust. And I would say that that's primarily the Philippine specific strategy we're trying to do.
All right. And has the pandemic become an additional barrier here for Bukas.ph? How has the recent year changed the landscape here? Especially, of course, we have reports of a number of students dropping out due to
Sure.
difficulty, of course.
Yeah, for us, it just means our mission and our work is just more crucial and more important than ever. That we have to scale and make sure that we reach and touch every Filipino who needs us. And so for us, the obviously the need for financing has heightened, and so for us, the role we play with schools and with students, it just becomes more crucial at this point in time.
Now, earlier you did mention about capital. That something is that you are one of the challenges that you are still facing. But for one, you have secured a Series A funding here that's amounting to $5 million from Monks Hills and Quadro. Now, where do you plan to allocate this?
Yeah, for us, the funding will be used to make key hires across different divisions, product engineering, marketing, operations. And our business model is such that scale and impact do go hand in hand. And the Series A is a fantastic opportunity to allow ourselves to expand our presence and grow our operations to serve more and more Filipino students who actually need us, both within here and even students throughout the region.
Give us an idea. What are your plans for scaling here, especially in the near term here? Where are you present at the moment? How many students do you have within your system? Basically, just give us an idea. What's your outlook here for the
Sure.
year?
Sure. Our core markets, as I mentioned, are Philippines and Indonesia, and we will continue to focus on growing uh, within them, within our existing partner schools as well as new partner schools. And that really is the sort of marching direction at this point in time, is to just make sure that this higher education space is very well served by Bukas and by Danachita in Indonesia.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Rich Lim, co-founder and CFO of Eredifi, parent company of Bukas.ph. Thank you, Rich.
Thanks for having me.
And those are the biggest news this trading day, March 16, 2021. Catch Business World live again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for the market open and 3:15 p.m. for the market close. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We are One News. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines.